They laughed when I walked in. 5 years of silence, and the first thing my sister said was, "Wow, Dara, you clean up nice, for someone who dropped out to be a chef." My parents gave me those pitying looks, the kind you give a stray dog. They had no idea the fancy restaurant they were sitting in, the one they thought was too expensive for me, was mine. I let them talk, mock, and assume. Then, just as the waiter approached, my sister asked, "Can you even afford this place?" The timing couldn't have been better. For more sweet revenge stories, hit subscribe. I'm Dara, and I'm 29 years old. I walked away from law school when I was 24 to become a chef. My family thought I was throwing my life away. My mother cried like I'd ruined her reputation. My father called me an embarrassment. My sister Lena just laughed and said, "Well, enjoy your broke girl dreams." And I did go broke, working backlines in tiny kitchens, burning my hands, sleeping in storerooms, and crying into prep bowls when no one was watching. But I never stopped. I worked hard. I saved. I learned. And 4 years ago, I opened Verona. That's right. Verona, the same upscale restaurant they were all sitting in now, judging as if they knew anything about it. They didn't know it was mine, of course. I never put my name on it. I wanted the food to speak for itself. Critics raved. Celebrities visited. A second location in Paris is opening next month. But tonight, I wasn't the owner. I was just the daughter they hadn't bothered to call for 5 years, until Lena invited me to this dinner. They were already seated when I arrived. My mom gave me that tight smile, the one that barely masks disappointment. My father barely looked up. Lena raised an eyebrow. "Wow," she said, "you actually wore a dress." I sat down calmly and said nothing. They didn't deserve my emotions. "So, Dara," my father started, "what are you doing now? Still in the kitchen?" He said it like kitchen was a dirty word. Lena smirked. "Still playing with food trucks?" "I live nearby," I said simply. "Oh, really?" my mother asked. "In this area? It's expensive." My father squinted. "Can you even afford this place?" I looked around, at the chandeliers I chose, the hand-stitched leather chairs I approved, the menu I crafted from scratch. "It's a special occasion," I said. Appetizers came. My father grumbled something about the portions. Lena whispered, "Don't order too much. We're splitting the bill, and I know things might be tight for you." I just smiled. Then dessert arrived. And with it, the perfect moment. Marco, my head waiter, approached with a big smile. "Miss Dara. So glad to see you again. Sorry your usual table wasn't available tonight, but we've sent out the dessert you created last fall, on the house, of course. Also, congrats on the Paris opening. We're all so proud." My family froze. Lena looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. "Wait. What did he just say?" My mother blinked. "Did he call you Ms. Dara?" Marco turned to them politely. "She's the owner. This is her restaurant." You could hear a fork drop. My father cleared his throat. "You own Verona?" I nodded. "Yes. I've owned it for 4 years now." "But how?" my mother whispered. "I left law school to become a chef. You called it failure. I called it a beginning." They said nothing. I stood up as the staff brought out the signature chocolate soufflé I'd invented. "The bill's taken care of," I said. "I hope you enjoy the food." And then I walked away. Not because I needed revenge. But because success, quiet and steady, is sometimes the loudest answer you'll ever need. Not because I needed revenge. But because success, quiet and steady, is sometimes the loudest answer you'll ever need. I stepped out into the warm evening air, the city lights glinting against the glass windows of Verona. A breeze swept past, carrying away the weight of the dinner I never thought I'd have the strength to face. My heart felt light. I had walked in expecting to prove something. But walking out, I realized, I didn't need to prove anything at all. Not anymore. The next morning, I woke up to a message from Lena. "Lena, 8:14 a.m. Hey. Last night was unexpected. Can we talk? I didn't know you were doing so well. Maybe we could catch up properly sometime." An hour later, one from my mother. "Mom, 9:22 a.m., you should have told us. We're family. We want to be part of your life again." And finally, my father. "Dad, 9:47 a.m., let's talk. I may have been harsh before. But I'm proud of you. Truly." I stared at the messages for a long time. Where were they during the nights I couldn't afford dinner? Where were they when I was standing barefoot in a kitchen with burns on my palms and a dream that felt impossible? Where were they when I needed love, not judgment? Now they wanted a seat at the table I built. I took a deep breath. I didn't feel angry, just clear. I typed back one message, and sent it to all three. I'm glad you finally see me. But I'm not the same girl you abandoned at 24. I'm 29 now. I've learned to feed myself, and I no longer offer seats to people who didn't stay hungry with me. I turned off my phone, walked into my second restaurant's construction site, and tied on my apron. There was more work to do. More dreams to cook up. Let them watch from a distance. Some doors stay closed, not out of hate, but out of peace. Because once you've built your own table, you realize you don't owe a seat to anyone who made you eat alone.